Hi, Jack Canfield here. Welcome back to another segment of Talking About Success. Today, someone's with me who went from being a teenage victim of war, living homeless on the streets of London, to an internationally published author of a #1 Amazon best-selling book, A Path to Wisdom, and the award-winning book, #Loneliness. My guest is TonyJSelimi. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Now, your mission is to inspire and empower the lives of 1 billion people. That's a huge goal. Tell our viewers about what put you on this incredible path to such a big mission.
Well, there have been many life events that basically crashed me and put me to stages where I felt hopeless. I went homeless and seen a lot of destruction in the world. And from a very young age, I knew there's hope. I knew that in every human being, there's this amazing intelligence that runs inside of ourselves, but we have no awareness how to control that. And I always wanted to make a greater contribution in the world. And I felt like if we as human beings are able to harness this intelligence, what beautiful things we can create. So every adversity that hit me taught me very different things about myself. But then every human being I met on that journey taught me even better things about myself. So it was this constant learning and growing that made me realize that if people were to learn about who they are inside out, we'll be able to share that globally, and we'll be able to resolve some of the world's global, not only conflicts, but also challenges that our planet is facing right now. And if we don't really change that, the challenges and the problems will become bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where there is no return. So on this journey, I met some amazing teachers and healers, and helped me really realize the purpose and the mission that since I was very young, I used to dream to boldly go where no man has gone before, and be that captain for people, to really take them on a journey through almost this terra incognita space where we feel very lost and alone, and be their flashlights, so for them to really be able to find their path within themselves. And I believe with all my heart that every human being is worthy of love.
I agree with that, by the way, as I know you know. So talk a little more about why this commitment to human potential, why it's so important to all of us.
It's by design and by nature. We've been built with those tremendous gifts, both to be able to destroy things when it does not serve us, and to recreate new life and better ourselves and better our communities and whatever we want to explore. So by design, we are natural explorers. But also we're no different to the nature we see outside of ourselves. So it is extremely important, if we want to consistently better of ourselves, and this inner yearning for constantly to want to grow, constantly to want to improve, and almost like we have this thirst that all of us want to quench. No matter how much we achieve, there's this constant thirst within each human being that needs to be quenched. So it's really important, because if you don't eat, we will not survive. Equally, if we don't really satisfy that thirst for wisdom, for knowledge, for bettering our lives in every way, we actually be dying inside of us like a plant, and we don't water the plant. And equally, if we don't water our mind, and if we don't nurture our mind and our heart and our soul, we're not really fulfilling our full potential. But I also believe that every human being has what both of us have. They just don't have that awareness yet.
And so your work's about bringing that awareness and then providing people with tools to unfold that, I say.
Absolutely, to bring the unconscious into conscious. Because unconsciously, many people know a lot of things, and there's many behaviors that get developed over a lifetime that to our conscious awareness are unrecognizable, which may put us in a lot of difficult situations and bring adversity into our lives, and also create things that later on we regret. But when we go back and really look at the engine that our mind is, And if we were to understand every part of our mind and being able to unlock that, you can imagine the kind of leadership we can have globally. You can imagine about what kind of communities we can create globally. You can imagine when we move away from that localized way of thinking to actually connecting people. I mean, we have a tool like Facebook, it connected billions of people. And the kind of wisdom that can be extracted out of that, like top companies around the world, they extract wisdom out of Facebook to be able to serve people. But that wisdom is within each one of us.
Yes. All right, so you have this wonderful bestseller, A Path to Wisdom, How to Live a Balanced, Healthy, and Peaceful Life. Now you've come out with a new book called #Loneliness. Talk about this book. What problem are you addressing here?
Well, number one problem, the #loneliness, actually, it was the first book.
Oh, this was the first book.
With a hashtag in it.
Oh,
Title.
I didn't know that.
That's only about 20 books so far since I published this.
Ah.
And the hashtag in front of it is about the new millennium and how we have such a sophisticated technology, but as people, we become alone. And if you were to go in a restaurant with your family, you'll observe in every family, the communication has gone to 10% and 90% is technology. So we're losing that human connection, although technology gives us some amazing stuff. But we have loneliness in business, and that can cost businesses trillions amounts of dollars. It can impact our health. I went into study of the science of loneliness. It can impact our genes, and it can activate and deactivate certain genes. It can impact our human behavior, the way we behave and when we become lonely, and we can create many different disempowering states of awareness within ourselves. And we become extremely isolated. I travel like yourself around the world, and you could meet most amazing people, but people don't speak anymore. They connected to their technology, and you could be meeting most amazing human being next to you, and you have no awareness of it. So I believe in the power of human connection, and the book takes you through the journey of trying to identify where is that isolation within yourself, that you've isolated yourself from this ocean of wisdom and oneness that we already belong to. And a lot of our pain, it's hidden behind technology. So no matter what we experience in ourselves, we're actually not really real with other people. And it's so easy to send a message to somebody. But people find it difficult now to communicate that message clearly with another human being. I went to see a CEO at one of the top banks in UK. And I walked in an office, open office with 200 people. And when I started working with them, like they did not know anything about one another.
Yeah, I had experiences like that working in corporations as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Now, you have numerous success stories, both in the corporate world and outside. Share one of those stories with us.
Well, I worked with the CEO of a technology company, and they invited me in to really to set up a foundation for the next level of growth that the company needed. But during that process, apart from taking the company at every level, we looked at every problems and blockages, and to really create the healthy foundation behind that. But what truly happened behind that, I ended up coaching both of the executives, who are a couple, to really address the problems that are happening within themselves as leaders, and address a lot of leadership problems before the company could go to the next level. So on that journey, they decided to honor their own truth, and then we co-created multiple businesses and took the company not where it is, but exponentially grow it and create multiple products, but then also honoring their truth and separating it with love, which is on its own a miracle for many people out there who may be in the wrong relationships, or maybe they have families, they have children, and they have no way out. And people spend billions in law fees to divorce one another. And I believe that two people, if they honor their truth, if they come to that level of awareness, they can still grow, love each other, separate each other, and actually support each other.
I find, I'm just curious if you do too, that what's blocking the growth of most companies and corporations is not the stuff out here. It's the stuff inside that's not being acknowledged or it's not aware of. It's the hidden beliefs, the unconscious stuff. You're finding the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's in the first book, in A Path to Wisdom, the methodology I created, TJ's method, the acronym, it's ALARM. So what I usually do is when you look at working with high-power individuals and people who really created the success, created everything they wanted in their life, it comes a very huge challenge with that position, especially if you're in a position of leadership and where people measure every move that you do, every word that you do, and you have tremendous pressure as a leader. So I love when I help leaders like that to really center themselves and also addressing what are the things within themselves that they're not acknowledging. Because usually most people know what they know. But I believe that when you have a clean mirror in front of you, somebody who can really listen to you at multiple levels of awareness, you can actually start expanding and bring those unconscious behaviors and unconscious beliefs that are preventing you from being in that wholeness, in that greatness, and as a leader, shining your light and really make a global difference in the world.
Now, there's a lot of people watching this, and I know you could give them literally hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and weeks of advice. But what pops to mind? Like, if you could say one thing to this viewing audience right now, what would it be?
To listen. We are surrounded in this infinite noise, an ocean of infinite possibilities in today's world. And our awareness, currently all of our senses are bombarded with so much information. Step back and start, at least spend an hour a day to listen within. Because our body is the most sophisticated vehicle and technology ever created. And if we start really listening very quietly of what our body language and the inner wisdom of the body is telling us, pretty much we can listen to that alarm when we're not really aligned to our truth and we're not really acknowledging something we should be acknowledging. So I would always say to people, step back at least for an hour and go within and go into the body, because the body is the only thing you will never replace. You can replace your car, you can replace your job, you can make money, you can lose money, you can have a wife, lose your wife, you can have children, lose your children. But this is the only thing that sits with us for the time we are in this planet. And it's extremely important to really understand that vehicle and trying to understand that engine. And also, I would say, do the MOT, regular MOT, because we do the MOT for our cars, but most people don't stop back and say, okay, what's happening inside? So taking that and really...
When you say MOT, you mean?
Like when you go to the car and you do like every year, you check the car, everything. We call it in England MOT, I'm not sure.
It's like a maintenance
thing, check up every year,
good,
yes.
Good. I just want my American audience to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, in England we say MOT. Every year you have to take your car before you get the license to be able to drive it.
Oh, right, it has to be checked.
Check every year.
Smog check and all that
Smart
kind of
check, and you get a paper saying it's safe to drive on the road.
Yeah, you got to do that same thing for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And we don't do that.
And we don't do that, yeah. I mean, the business of life take over. And all the problems and all the expectations and things that we have to every day perform. So, and we don't really stop until an illness strikes us, or a stress, or something that our body produces, and then we go and pop a pill.
We're numbing out the very alarm system that's
Correct.
trying to give us feedback about we're off course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not smart.
Well, that's what I designed.
I always say it's like if you're in a house and the smoke alarm goes off and it's bothering you, a lot of people just want to go and take the battery out of the smoke alarm so it's not bothering anymore, but you're no longer getting the message that there's a problem here.
It's exactly the same behavior in every human being. That basically at some point in our life we learn that as a habit, and then it becomes normal. So for instance, when I do some work from a healing perspective, when my clients ask whether it's stress, whether it's like headache, migraines and stuff like that. So when they sit with me in one-to-one and ask them, how can I help? The issue is there in their face. For instance, it could be a person who smokes, or it could be a person who is addicted to sugar or to drugs or anything like that, and it's in front of them. But they don't even acknowledge that that is a problem. Because their way of being has learned that battery from that alarm to be out. So you're not listening to what your body is telling you. And our body will constantly alarm us when we're not appreciating, loving, and being kind to it.
Very good. Okay, 2 books here. #Loneliness, the Virus of the Modern Age.
Yeah.
and A Path to Wisdom, How to Live a Balanced, Healthy, and Peaceful Life. Both great books. I haven't read them word for word, but I leafed through them with great detail today, and I think they're great resources. So check these out, Amazon.com and any other place you can go to buy books. Now, if someone wanted to contact you to consult with their company, to coach them, I know you do executive coaching, how do they get in contact with you?
They can go to my website, TonyJSelimi.com, and they can fill up the form, and my PA will get back to them straight away.
All right. Very simple.
Very simple. Keep it simple.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. It's been an absolute honor.
I wish we had a whole hour. We don't, unfortunately. So check out his books, check out his website, and there's no reason not to take your life to the next level. It's wanting you to go there. So here's someone that can help you do that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message.